Well, many people thought it was going to be a disaster. And it has. And it is. Meghan Markle, when she first became relevant to the UK, when she first met Harry, was well liked. In fact, the nation loved her, considering that she loved one of our princes that's very, very well liked in our country.
The fact that I fell in love with Meghan so incredibly quickly was a sort of confirmation to me that all the stars were aligned, everything was just perfect. It was this beautiful woman just tripped and fell into my life. I fell into her life.
Their paths crossed in 2016 when a mutual friend suggested a blind date. Meghan had only one concern.
I had one question. I said, well, is he nice? Because if he wasn't kind, it didn't seem like it would make sense. And so we went and met for a drink.
I was beautifully surprised when I walked into that room and saw her, and there she was sitting there. I was like, okay, well, I really have to up my game.
Along the way, it seems that Meghan Markle has decided to turn Harry not only against the family, his family, but also against the nation.
He's obviously very concerned about protecting you and protecting you from what he felt his mother went through. It's obviously an area one has to tiptoe into very gently, but I don't know what the impact on your physical and mental health of all the pressure that you clearly feel under.
I would say, look, any woman especially when they're pregnant, you're really vulnerable, and so that was made really challenging. And then when you have a newborn,
It's a long time ago, but I remember, yeah.
And especially as a woman, it's a lot. So you add this on top of just trying to be a new mom or trying to be a newlywed. It's, I guess, and also thank you for asking, because not many people have asked if I'm okay.
Somehow she thought that she could follow her Hollywood lifestyle as a member of the royal family. Now she's realised she can't do that, and people will be critical of her and Harry. She wants to believe that somehow it's to do with racism or bigotry of some kind. And some of the mass media are more than happy to jump on that bandwagon to believe it.
The way in which the right-wing media in particular has discussed her heritage and taken upon the fact that she's from California, that she has links to Compton, that she has a dark-skinned mother with dreadlocks.
Prince Harry felt compelled to issue a statement condemning the racial undertones of some of the coverage.
I think it is a significant moment for people of colour, mixed-race people, black people, anyone who sees themselves in Meghan.
But if you was to look back in history in the royal family, you will know that the tabloids, as well as the people of our country, have been very critical over the royal family for many, many years.
But for the heir to the British throne, 1994 was a year to remember for all the wrong reasons. Prince Charles was shot at in Australia by a man with a starting pistol loaded with blanks. And things went from bad to worse when he became the first British royal to publicly confess to adultery.
Did you try to be faithful and honourable to your wife?
Yes, until it became irretrievably broken down.
So Meghan Markle wasn't anything special. She decided to virtue signal and to believe that somehow she's okay going on 4 or 5 jets, but it's okay to tell us that we can't go on a holiday once a year. It's okay to spend millions of pounds on a big house that we are paying for, but it's not okay for us to see the christening. It's okay for us to spend hundreds of thousands of pounds for her to go abroad for her hen night or whatnot, but it's not okay for people to sit next to her in Wimbledon. These are just a few of the things that are really annoyed at the British people, the nation of Britain. But somehow everyone's against Meghan Markle. Not the fact that Meghan Markle has turned against the nation, turned Harry against the nation, turned Harry against his own family. So do I feel for the likes of Harry and Meghan Markle? I feel for Harry. I think he's had his mind twisted to the way that Meghan Markle works. She lives in a different world to Harry. She lives in a different world to Britain today. She lives in a Hollywood world where she thinks that her way of thinking is the only way to go. And if you think differently to that, then surely you're just a racist or a bigot. The fact that royal experts blast Meghan for this decision, I don't blame them. Now, the hypocrisy carries on because it's all very well that Harry and Meghan Markle want to have their own life and come away from the royal family. I have no issues with that. Why would I? If you want to come away from that, you don't want those responsibilities, you don't want to be in the tabloids anymore, fine, brilliant, fantastic. However, that house that we spent millions on, that belongs to us. It doesn't actually belong to you. So that should be gone. The hundreds of thousands of pounds that we pay for your protection, I think it's around £600,000 a year, gone. The £2.5 million that come from the people that go into your pocket, Harry, gone. If you want to come away from the royal family and you want to be self-sufficient, then you do exactly that, and I will respect you for doing it. You can't take from us and then expect not to do your job. You can't turn around to an employer. I can't turn around to my employer and say to them, by the way, I want you to pay my wages every single month, but I'm not going to work for you. You can't do that. It's not going to happen. So what makes Harry and Meghan Markle any different to anyone else? Meghan Markle has turned Harry against the nation. Meghan Markle has turned Harry against his own family. Now, I could suggest to you and believe that somehow that marriage is not going to last very long. In fact, I would suggest in the next 2 to 3 years, Harry is going to have his tail between his legs and come back to the Queen. I must admit, I'm hoping that is going to happen, because I don't believe that Meghan Markle is good for Harry, good for the royal family, or even good for Britain.